send the thunder home. Lillard, long-range three.
Beautiful morning. Get the sun up,
What is going on, everybody? CEO Sports Talk is back with another video, and this one is a very special to me and Casey, especially because it is March Madness season, and me and Casey adore March Madness. Today was Selection Sunday. The field of 68 was released for men and women, and we're here to break down the bracket and give our predictions, give our picks, and give you the link to our group, and we can have the winner of the group gets to come on the pod and talk sports with us. So yeah, I'll put that in the description below.
Yeah, I mean, everyone loves March Madness. I remember Oliver, he used to not watch much college basketball. However, you would always watch every second of March Madness, make a bracket. So everyone looks forward to March Madness, and great time of the year. And at the end, we'll also talk about some unreal news that we had today and all throughout the week in the NFL world. But right now it's March Madness. Yeah,
I mean, this is the year I've watched the most college basketball by far. So I actually know a little bit about what I'm talking about this year. So it makes making a bracket that much more fun. All right, here we go, boys. Here's an empty bracket. I've already filled my real one up, and I'm going to replicate it here for you guys. And then Casey will do his, or I'll fill it out for Casey, but he'll do his picks. Starting in the West, we got Gonzaga, Georgia State. We can just safely pencil in all the 1 seeds real quick.
Well, there. Just kidding.
Because none of them will lose. Boise State, Memphis. I like this Boise State team. They're started 3-4, and they've won like 24-27 since then. But this Memphis team is also super hot. They've gotten hot at a very good time, and I like Memphis here. UConn's a really good team. New Mexico State's really good as a 12 seed, but they have to go against a really good 5 seed in UConn. And I really like Vermont. They won every tournament game they had by over 30 points. Again, really tough matchup here. I like Arkansas. Now Casey will do his first 4.
Yeah, ignore how it says Oliver's name too, because he's just doing all this. So yeah, all right, I like Gonzaga over Georgia State. In Portland too, they should have a huge home field advantage, so that'd be good. Then we got Boise State versus Memphis. We just talked about it, and I would take Memphis if they ended up winning the American. However, they didn't. And this Boise State team is very hot. They just beat a really good San Diego State team squad in the Mountain West, won it. So I like Boise State to win it. I think, they're just an underrated squad. Then I like the 12 seed New Mexico State to upset UConn. I don't trust this UConn team too much. And New Mexico State scores the ball. And they looked solid yesterday versus Abilene Christian. I watched that game. I like New Mexico State to win in Buffalo versus UConn. And then lastly, I like Arkansas to take care of business for Vermont, but to not cover. Vermont will make it closer than the experts will predict. They absolutely demolished UMBC yesterday.
They did by like 40. Okay. Moving on. This is a game I've gone back and forth on. Rutgers or Notre Dame versus Alabama. Alabama can either lose to anyone, but they can also beat anyone, which is really tough to bet against in March Madness because you just don't know what Alabama you're going to get. And I'm going to bet on that we get the Alabama that we saw last year in the tournament that can be really good. So let's hope they come out firing and this pick is correct. But I really like Rutgers and Notre Dame as well, so I think they have a chance.
Right.
And I love the Texas Tech team. So I think they'll win easily. And then I like Davidson, Hung Jun Lee, their best player. He's really good. Michigan State, kind of fraudulent in my opinion. I know Tom Izzo's great in March. Max Christie's a good player. But I don't know. I like Davidson. And then lastly, I have Duke over CSU Fulton, but shout out CSU Fulton.
Shout out. I like Notre Dame to upset Alabama. If Rutgers wins, I don't know, maybe we'll rethink it. Maybe they'll still win. But I like this Notre Dame team. People forget they beat many people's national champion winners in Kentucky. This Notre Dame team has a really solid, experienced coach in Mike Bray. And, they're a really good team. They have Stanford transfer Cormac Ryan. However, their freshman play is really solid. Paul Atkinson has been really solid this year, averaging 12 points. Dane Goodwin and Blake Wesley. So I like this Notre Dame team. They beat Kentucky already, and Alabama has been quite fraudulent as of late. They were really solid last year. Remember that buzzer beater they had versus UCLA in the tourney last year? They ended up losing that game. But that Bama team was really solid. They had a new coach in Nate Oates, but I don't think they're quite the same this year. So I like Notre Dame. Texas Tech, Montana State. I like Tech to take care of business closer than the experts think, though. Montana State, very solid team who can score the ball, and they looked great versus Northern Colorado. It's just cool seeing a team from Bozeman, Montana make the tournament. MSU, Oliver, come on, say it with me, man. January, February, Izzo, April, May, June. I mean, come on, Michigan State. I don't care about, frauds or not. At the end of the day, the Big Ten is a better, league than the Atlantic 10. And Michigan State has probably the best coach in college basketball right now. Duke, CSU, Fullerton, game of the year. CSU, Fullerton, representing California, putting them on the map. Nope, but I like Duke. Pablo Banchero, great coach. Coach K, revenge tour. Closer than the experts think. Hammer CSU, Fullerton spread. Hammer it.
No, I think CSU Fullerton's losing by like 40.
No.
On to the next.
If CSU Fullerton wins, I got it right. Even though I'm picking Duke, but I got it right.
That's fair.
Right.
I already penciled in Baylor. Carolina Marquette. Carolina is another team like Alabama where it's really inconsistent. You don't know what you get. Whereas Marquette, I feel like there's more consistency here. I like this 9-8 upset. And this 5-12, I have a 12 because I think Indiana's hot right now. They almost just won the Big Ten. And, St. Mary's just plays really slow basketball. They're a good team, but I think they beat Wyoming, lose to Indiana. So this pick is pending on who wins that game. And lastly, I like UCLA, pretty much the same team that just made the Final Four last year. I think this team can make a huge run. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was solid. I definitely like Baylor to beat Norfolk State. Baylor, solid once again, not quite as good as last year, I would say. They don't have a Jared Butler. However, they're very solid. Marquette, I like the top UNC. Jordan Lewis has been phenomenal this year. Averages 17.1. He's been great. Watch out for Brendan Carney on the bench as well. I mean, this team is really good. I like Marquette, and they haven't made the tournament in a while. They were really good Marcus Howard's senior year, but COVID shut that down.
That's true.
St. Mary's, I like to beat Wyoming or IU. I like this IU team, but I love this St. Mary's team. Kuzi, that guy's a scorer. He's one of those guys that is not going to play in the NBA, but you'll remember him as a good college player because, he's a scorer. And UCLA, I love this UCLA team. And people don't realize UCLA with the same big three, Juzang, Jaquez, and Campbell, made the Final Four last year. Exact same big three. Add a great player in Jules Bernard. I think this UCLA team, sky's the limit for them. So, yeah, I love the UCLA team. And also a great coach in Mick Cronin.
Agreed. All right. This VTech team is scorching, and you cannot trust Texas at all in the tournament. That's an easy 11-6 upset to me. As much as I'd like to pick Yale, I got Purdue. I would love to pick San Francisco here. I really want San Francisco to win this, but I really like this Racers team. This Racers team dominates their competition. I just both play in semi-weak conferences. Obviously the WCC was better this year, but I really like this Murray State team as much as I'd love to pick San Francisco. And Kentucky, I got over St. Peter's.
Yeah, I like this little section here. I think it's probably the most stacked section we have. Virginia Tech, they're probably the hottest team right now in college basketball. Maybe not, but they just won, some say the best. No, it's a down year for the ACC, but in many years, the best conference. So I love Virginia Tech in this game. Texas is they struggle to score the ball sometimes. They're really good defensively, and that all has to do with, the coaching. Texas Tech was like this when Chris Beard was there, and then he comes to Texas. It's just a defensive-minded coach. That's how it is. But if they score, they'll win. But I think VT is hot right now. Great guard play, too, with the Wofford players. They have a ton of Wofford players because Mike Young, the old Wofford coach, brought him in. Storm Murphy, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
He was at Wofford for 4 years, and he's balling at Virginia Tech.
Doing so well.
Purdue, it's so interesting because half the time Purdue chokes and loses these first rounds. Last year they lost to the North Texas Mean Green. And then other times they have deep runs like with Carson Edwards where they made it and played Virginia in that 2019 tournament. So it's so tempting to take Purdue deep, but it's also tempting to take a Yale upset. But I like Purdue because honestly, Yale probably wasn't even the best team in the Ivy all year was Princeton. So I think Purdue wins this one. USF Murray State. Man, I really was going to pick USF no matter what, but Murray State is good. But I'm still taking USF. Jamare Bouye is the best guard in the country. Maybe it's a fact. The guy is so good. He can do everything. He can play defense. He can rebound. He can assist the ball, averages 4, and he can score. I mean, I've seen him play twice in person now. Unreal player. Great guy too. And do not forget about Yahan Masalaki. The Lithuanian is an unreal rebounder, and he is the reason they lost to Gonzaga because he wasn't playing. If he was playing, it could have been a different story. I love this USF team. Very understated. And Kentucky will take care of St. Peter's. I mean, they have the National Player of the Year on their team.
Yep. All right, moving on. Obviously, Arizona. Seton TCU, again, my third straight 9 seed winning in TCU. I like this TCU team a lot. Beat Texas Tech. I mean, this team is just good. Seton Hall's good. They're really good defensively, and when they don't let up points, they're really good. But that's not all the time. So and then I really like this Houston team. I really do. So I like them over UAB, and I've seen this as an upset, but I don't see it happen. I have Houston going pretty far, as you'll see. And again, Chattanooga's having a phenomenal season, but they're not going to be able to handle Kofi Coburn. Let's be honest here.
And I would like to apologize. Yasin Masaluki is from Belarus, according to his bio on ESPN, not Lithuania. Arizona, they're definitely going to take care of Wright State or BRY. Bryant, though, I do want to give them a shout out. They have a guy, Kiss, who averages 25 points a game. So it sucks they got that spot. I think maybe they deserved a 15 over Jacksonville State.
St. Peter's.
Yeah, whatever. TCU, I like over Seton Hall for sure. TCU's had some shocking events lately. I mean, they had some upsets. They beat Baylor home, and then they recently beat the Texas Longhorns in a Big 12 championship. So this team's a solid team. I like them to win a game in the tournament this year.
They beat a good A&M team too, who should have made the tournament.
Yeah. UAB Houston. Oliver's high on Houston this year, but I'm not. I'm high on UAB. Houston, the American Conference, so bland. I mean, I'm sorry. However, I will say this Houston team can play. They've had a lot of close matches versus good teams. I mean, Alabama and Wisconsin are both really good. They blew out Oregon, and Wisconsin made the Final Four last year. However, they're very up and down. I just have a feeling Wisconsin's going to lose this match as UAB can score the ball. We saw them go to triple overtime versus Middle Tennessee in the semifinals of the CUSA. And in the finals, they balled out versus Louisiana Tech. They can defend the ball well, and they can score. I like UAB to beat them. Last time we saw UAB in the tournament, they beat Iowa State. And then Illinois, Chattanooga. This is an interesting one because Illinois has Kofi Coburn, Clint Frazier, who can also, I had Illinois winning last year, so I don't really trust him. And Chattanooga, that team is built like a Power 5 team. They have some athletes on Chattanooga. However, I like Illinois to just barely survive there and get out of that tough matchup.
That's fair. I like that. Michigan should not be an 11 seed. They should be a play-in 12. With that said, I know they've had a harder schedule, but I think Colorado State has just been good all year long, where Michigan's had its ups and downs. I like Colorado State here. But I feel like this is an upset a lot of people are going to pick. Tennessee, Longwood. Shut out Longwood, man, but I got Tennessee. Tennessee is going far. And Ohio State's so fraudulent, dude. Give me the team that always does well in March Madness. Give me the Loyola Chicago all day, man. And then give me Villanova against Delaware. Shout out Delaware, though.
Yeah, man. Colorado State, the 6th seed, versus the 11th seed Michigan, who originally preseason was projected to be a 1 seed. Colorado State is favored to lose, even though they're the 6th seed. So I like the underdog, Colorado State, to beat Michigan. When Juwan Howard came back, you thought everything was back because this Michigan team is hot, but then they blew that game versus Indiana this week. And I like Colorado State. They've been really consistent. They were the last team, I think, to be undefeated in the country this year. And I like CSU to win a game this tourney. Then we got Tennessee Longwood, as you talk about. I like Tennessee to win this one. Longwood, though, they were the first team to make the tournament, I think. So shout out to them. Loyola, Chicago, and Ohio State. We saw Ohio State lose to Oral Roberts last year. We've seen Ohio State been upset a few times, and I like it again. We've seen Loyola Chicago upset people many times, so seems like we'll just stay with the pattern. I like Loyola Chicago as Ohio State's been kind of tinkering down as of late,
Really have, yeah.
And Villanova versus Delaware, Joe Biden's alma mater. I like Villanova to win it, but shout out to Delaware for making the tournament. I don't think I've seen them in a while. And Gillespie from Villanova is playing great basketball.
So good, dude. Balled out against Creighton. Okay. Speak of the devil. My first non-9 seed to win. I like San Diego State. They've been good all year. Yeah, and really good Mountain West Conference.
Matt Bradley, baby, from Cal transfer.
Yes, sir. Iowa should be a 3 or 4 seed. Probably not a 3, probably a 4. But shout out Richmond Spiders, but Iowa's gonna take care of business. And my first big upset here is South Dakota State over Providence. Providence plays way too many close games. Do not be surprised if South Dakota State goes out there and wins this game. Bunch of shooters on that team, shoot 45% as a team. I really like this. And then this game, I was kind of going back and forth, but pre-broadcast, Casey made a great point that Will Wade was just recently fired. So I have yet another 11-6 upset, my second. In Iowa State. I'm not a big Iowa State guy, but I'm not high on a team that just had their head coach fired. Wisconsin Colgate. I always like Colgate, but Wisconsin. USC Miami, another tough one. I'm just gonna go, state of the pack. USC, and I like Auburn against Jacksonville State. So, yeah.
Kansas versus Texas Southern or Texas Corpus Christi. I like the Jayhawks. Bill Self, great coach. Creighton, San Diego State. This is a matchup, man. I mean, Matt Bradley from the Aztecs has been unreal this year, but Creighton had a really good Big East tournament. I mean, they could have won the thing. They played Villanova well in the finals. Alexander O'Connell from Duke been shooting the lights out. Remember him, Oliver?
Yeah, I do actually.
So yeah, O'Connell, good player, not the leading scorer, but man, I'm not gonna lie. I had Creighton winning in my original bracket. I'm gonna switch it to San Diego State. I think this Aztecs team, I mean, death taxes in San Diego State in the Mountain West tournament. Matt Bradley averages 17 points. I mean, dude, Matt Bradley, I spent 3 years watching him at my favorite school, Cal, and I like the Aztecs to win it. I'm going to switch that. Iowa and Richmond. The Richmond Spiders qualified today, beating Dayton. Shout out to them, but no, Iowa's going to win. 6th year, 7th year, maybe 8th year senior Jordan Bohannon still plays for Iowa. And I don't know, maybe if they'll win, he'll grant him a night year. Providence, South Dakota State. South Dakota State, 30-4, 18-0 in the Summit League. They're going to obliterate Providence. It's not even going to be close. They're going to win by 10 plus. Providence had a really solid year. The South Dakota State is no joke. They went undefeated in the league, and they played Alabama well preseason and Washington well. I mean, this team is good, and they average 86 points per game. They can shoot the lights out. They shoot 45% from three, as Oliver mentioned pregame. So I like South Dakota State Jackrabbits to win this. I like Iowa State as well. As you said, Will Wade, who has been featured on a trivia question here once, just got fired. Colgate, Wisconsin. I like Wisconsin. It seems like Colgate's been in so many 14-3 matchups. They played Arkansas. They played Tennessee back in 2019, but they're not going to win against Wisconsin. Johnny Davis is a baller. I like Wisconsin. I'm high on them. UNC Miami. USC are frauds, unfortunately. I'm a big Pac-12 guy. I like the Miami Hurricanes to beat USC. Charlie Moore, Miami point guard, was the starting point guard for the University of California when I was in 6th grade, ladies and gentlemen. 6th grade, that means 2016. 2017. The year is 2022, and he's a starting point guard at Miami. 6th-year senior, Charlie Moore. That team is experienced. And Auburn, Jacksonville State. When I tell you I'm tempted, I am so tempted to pick Jacksonville State here. I think Auburn is quite fraudulent, even though I like this team a lot. Jabari Smith is best freshman in the country. He's going to be number 1 overall pick of the draft. But
they only lost Alabama by 6.
Yeah, I know. No, Jacksonville State's good, but they didn't win their conference. So, I mean, I just can't pick a team that didn't win their conference from a smaller conference like that. So I'm going to pick Auburn, but that's the only game they're winning.
W. All right, let's move on, baby. Gonzaga, Memphis. Gonzaga's taking care just because Gonzaga's the best team in the country to me. UConn, Arkansas, like both teams. I think both teams, if they didn't play each other second round, could be a sleeper to make it to the Final Four. Or if they weren't against Gonzaga, but I like Arkansas there. Texas Tech ends Alabama's winning streak. So I like Texas Tech here. And then Duke ends Davidson's Cinderella streak.
Wow. Gonzaga beats Boise State. Reminds me a lot of that Gonzaga-Oklahoma game last year. Just Gonzaga's too good. New Mexico State and Arkansas. I like Arkansas to take care of business. Eric Musselman's been there before. I think he'll do it again. Texas Tech will beat Notre Dame. A little bit of chalk here, but the chalk ends as the MSU Tom Izzo's beat Duke, and they go to Chase Center and play Texas Tech. I just think that Michigan State
It's ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. I mean, okay, Oliver, name me the 2 best players on Duke right now.
Paolo Banchero and AJ Griffin,
AJ Griffin. What grade are they both in?
freshman.
Is that experience?
No, but the
Who did
talent.
Duke lose to in the 2019 tournament? With Cam Reddish, RJ Barrett, and Zion Williamson, maybe the best team of all time, talent-wise. Michigan State.
But I don't care, bro. It's
MSU's
Coach
winning.
K's final run. They're playing a little extra.
They just lost to VT last night.
I don't care.
And who does VT have? Experience. Storm Murphy.
Don't care.
Michigan State's winning.
All right, moving on. Baylor. Still like them to move on. I think Marquette will keep this very close. UCLA beats Indiana. I think Purdue's are kind of frauds, low key. Shout out Jared Wilburn. Shout out Jaden Ivey. But I like Virginia Tech to keep moving on. And Kentucky beats Murray State for me.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Kentucky's
Well,
good,
then.
Kentucky's real good. Ty Washington and Oscar Sheway.
I like Baylor to beat Marquette. Watch out, though. Lewis is a baller.
I agree. Lockout. I think this is a upset potential right here.
St. Mary's, UCLA. Oh, my goodness. When I tell you I'm torn, I mean, I've been many places in life. I don't think I've ever been more torn on a decision. Before the tournament started, before seeds were announced, I had both these teams making runs. I had both of them in the Final Four, to be honest. And, man, this is tough. I mean, you got Logan Johnson's St. Mary's Gales, Kusi St. Mary's Gales, and an unreal coach and Randy Bennett taking on the big three. And this is the winner of this game, in my opinion, is in the Final Four. And the question is who? I got the Gales, and it has to do with the fact that last night we saw UCLA win, and they've just been struggling in the big games this year. They lost to Gonzaga preseason in the big game, and last night they lost to Arizona in the big game. They lost to Arizona a few times this year in the big game. And, man, UCLA I'm high on. Like, this could be flipped this week. Virginia Tech and Purdue, also a good game here. However, I think that Virginia Tech is going to continue their run as they're going to beat Purdue. I think that Purdue is fraudulent, as you said. Jaden Ivey, though, great player. And Jared Wilbur. And USF versus Kentucky reminds me a ton of that 2019 game, Wofford versus Kentucky, when we had a big-time team in Wofford. Shout out Fletcher McGee and Storm Murphy, taking on a really good Kentucky team that year. But they ended up losing to Auburn, that Tyler Hero team. I like Kentucky to win this closer than the experts think. I mean, this would be so cool for USF just playing Kentucky.
Yeah, it really would be. Okay, let's move back up. Arizona TCU. I want to pick TCU, but I can't. Arizona's winners. Then I like Houston to upset Illinois. Again, I really like Houston. They can just flat out score the basketball, and they dominate their competition, especially in conference. And Tennessee, Colorado State. I really like this Tennessee team, as I mentioned. And then I like Villanova to take care of Loyola.
Yeah, Oliver. So Arizona is going to win TCU routly. Arizona is the best team in the country. Then we got UAB versus Illinois. I like the Blazers to beat Illinois. This Blazers team is not beating Illinois. Sorry, I said that wrong. I like Illinois to beat the Blazers. Kofi Coburn, great player. They're not going to get upset in the round of 32 again. Colorado State, Tennessee, going to be a good game, but Tennessee is really solid. I mean, they beat Arizona. And Loyola Chicago, Villanova, Loyola Chicago. I think that they're going to continue their run here. I mean, they've done it time after time. And Nova, they've had 2 really good runs in March Madness, but they've lost in the round of 32 a few times.
Yeah, it's hard to bet against Loyola Chicago, to be honest, but I really like the way Colin Gillespie's playing. Then again, I like Kansas. Kansas playing really good ball right now. Christian Braun, Oche Agbaji. I mean, the team's stacked. And
if
then
our NIT predictions come out later this week, Christian Braun's brother plays for Santa Clara.
fire. And again, South Dakota State's hard to bet against, but this Iowa team is crazy good. Iowa State, Wisconsin. I like Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin's a bit overrated, but they have a pretty easy second round matchup here in my bracket. And then USC Auburn. I think they could get upset here, but I'm gonna pick Auburn.
Wow. Kansas for San Diego State. I like KU to end San Diego State's run. Watch out, though. Iowa versus South Dakota State. This one's going to be in the 100s or 90s, man. But I think Iowa does win. This is the year that they're really playing well. I mean, they won the Big Ten today. Credit when credit's due. Iowa State, Wisconsin. I like Wisconsin to take care of business. I mean, this was my winner pick before they fell to Nebraska and in the Big Ten tournament. But yeah, I like Wisconsin to beat Iowa State. And then I like Miami to beat Auburn. I mean, Miami's playing really good basketball right now. They beat BC. They almost beat Duke. And they have Charlie Moore, 6-year senior.
Yep. All right, moving back up. Gonzaga, Arkansas will be a great game. Still got Gonzaga. Texas Tech, Duke. This is where the Duke season comes to an end for me. Texas team is crazy good defensively.
And that game will be in San Francisco.
Yes, sir. That'll be a fun game.
Gonzaga, Arkansas. I like the Zags to take care of business. I mean, they're just too good, man. Chet Holmgren, Drew Timme. I mean, this team, they're very solid. Texas Tech versus Michigan State is going to be a really solid battle at Chase Center in San Francisco, but I like MSU to continue their run. And it reminds me a ton of that 2015 season when a low MSU seed just made it far. I mean, that's what they do. MSU, they make runs.
There.
Denzel Valentine.
Lost to Middle Tennessee. UCLA, I like to beat Baylor. Baylor's the first one seed out for me. And I think Virginia Tech finally loses here to Kentucky.
Baylor, St. Mary's, I like the Gales to win this for sure. Whoever was winning that UCLA St. Mary's match is winning that match, and that's 100% a fact. I mean, I'm tempted to go back to UCLA, man. I can't dip Johnny Juzang and Jaime Hack. All right, we're staying strong with St. Mary's, and then I like Kentucky to beat Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's magical run is going to come to an end.
Thanks. Okay, moving back up. Arizona, Houston. Let's keep it rolling.
Wow.
Houston, baby, beating Arizona, the frauds of Arizona. You know, I just don't see what all the experts are saying, best team in the country. Casey saying best team in the country. I haven't seen it against the superb competition, even mediocre competition like Stanford. They barely were in that game. And then Tennessee and Villanova, give me the Vols all day. That won't be close, in my opinion.
The Vols. So Arizona, Illinois, I like the Zona Wildcats to win that. I mean, best team in the country. Colo. Oh, Coloco is so good, man. He's so big. The difference between this Arizona, I'll get to it. All right. Tennessee and Loyola Chicago. 2018 March Madness. Guess what happened? Tennessee played Loyola Chicago. Guess who won? Loyola Chicago. It's not happening this year. Tennessee's going to get redemption.
And then moving down here. As much as I like this Kansas team, I like Iowa a bit more. Keegan Murray averages 24 points a game. And then you have experience with Bohannon and McCaffrey, and man, this team is good. And then Wisconsin, Auburn. I don't really like either of these teams, to be honest, but when it comes down to it, I'm going to pick Wisconsin just because Auburn's so fraudulent. And I wouldn't have said that a few weeks ago, but Auburn just keeps losing.
The Elite Eight is my favorite round. You know, it's when you cut the nets. Kansas, Iowa, though. I like Kansas just to get through by the skin of their teeth. Jordan Bohannon is going to miss a buzzer beater, almost go in from half court when it's like 87 to 84. Man, it's going to be close. Wisconsin, Miami, I like Wisco to keep the magic rolling. I mean, this team is deep, and they're not young either.
Yep. All right. For taking to the Final Four, I like Gonzaga, man. I would pick Gonzaga, I think, if they're in another bracket like this one or this one. But they have to play the best team in the country, and that's Gonzaga. Gonzaga's heading to the Final Four. And then here I got Tennessee ending Houston's run.
Tennessee is
I really like Tennessee, man.
solid.
Kenny Chandler's a dog.
Gonzaga, MSU at Chase Center. Ooh, what a hot ticket that would be. I like the Zags to take care of business, but man, that'd be a good game. Arizona, Tennessee, game of the year. This would just be unreal. We saw this game happen back in December, and Tennessee won over in Rock Chalk area, you know, in Tennessee's area. This time, neutral site. I like Zona to take care of business. They're hot. You know, they haven't lost in a while besides that game in Colorado. I like Zona.
All right. Down to bottom half. You say Kentucky, man. I really like this Kentucky team. You say, you know, they've been there before, but I don't think they quite do it. I like Kentucky at the Final Four. And Wisconsin, I like Iowa at the Final Four. So making my Final Four: Gonzaga, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Iowa.
Wow. I actually love that. It's very realistic too. St. Mary's, Kentucky. Whether it's UCLA or St. Mary's, whoever that is going to beat Kentucky and end their season.
Wow, St. Mary's to the Final Four.
St. Mary's to the Final Four, playing a team in their conference. But St. Mary's, man, what a great moment that would be for the school just to play Kentucky. A small school from Moraga playing the big team from Lexington. That would be quite a story.
Sure.
And then Kansas versus Wisco, two big state schools. I like Wisconsin to take care of business there. I think their big run continues to go. I mean, we saw how good they were in the Maui Jim Invitational earlier this November, Oliver, and I think they're playing well. I know they've struggled a little, but they'll be hot again at this point.
Yeah, I don't hate that. And then I like Gonzaga to take care of business. I think this will be a great game, man. That would be a great game. Another great game here. SEC Big Ten, but I like Tennessee. I like the Vols. I think they're a top 5 team in the country right now. So I got the Vols and the Zags meeting in the final.
Yeah, I like that. St. Mary's, Gonzaga. We've seen
In it before a lot, man.
We've seen year after year St. Mary's. We've seen year after year Gonzaga choking in the Final Four in the national championship last year versus Baylor in the national championship versus UNC. Gonzaga's lost. They've never won. They always are the highest ranked team. And it's going to happen again. They're going to lose to St. Mary's Gales. They've already lost them once this year. I just don't see them winning.
There's no chance St. Mary's goes to the final.
St. Mary's is going to the championship, ladies and gentlemen. St. Mary's Gales. I mean, this team is just stacked, man. When it comes to March Madness players that you can think of, not NBA players, not Chet Holmgren. When it comes to players that are just good in college basketball, Tommy Kuhse comes to mind. Logan Johnson comes to mind. Matthias Tass comes to mind. I mean, they're stacked when it comes to this stuff. I mean, St. Mary's is going to make the run of the year. St. Mary's is going to be looked up so many times. And then the other side, Arizona, Wisconsin. Man, oh man, we saw this matchup in the 2014 tournament and in the 2015 tournament. Both times Wisconsin got the upper hand. Stanley Johnson said he wanted to go to Arizona to beat Wisconsin, and they lost to Frank Kaminsky and Sam Decker. This time Arizona gets redemption. Game of the year right here, Arizona, Wisconsin. And the reason they are so good this year is because they're not the one and done Arizona team we always have. This time, they're actually an older, experienced team. They have sophomore Benedict Mathurin, who's averaging 17 points per game. And then obviously they have Christian Coloco, the junior, 7'1". I mean, the guy is an absolute beast. We saw him last night in the Pac-12 championship. And of course, they also have the 6-year senior, Justin Kier. So that's why they're going to win. They're going to beat Wisconsin.
All right, St. Mary's, Arizona. And then I got Gonzaga, Tennessee. Oh, what a great game this would be. I think Gonzaga.
I love that championship, by the way. I love that match.
Yeah, it's a good match. I think Gonzaga finally ends this streak of choking. They finally become the champion. And I think it's by a good amount. I had it at 75-59. So they win by 16 points. Great matchup, but I think Gonzaga takes care of business.
I mean, I've always wanted to pick. I want Gonzaga to win every year. Small school, I feel for them. However, I'm not doing it until Gonzaga
they prove they can do
wins
it
herself. I'm not picking them. I mean, you could say the same about U of A. So we got St. Mary's, a small school. Reminds me of that Butler run we had with Gordon Hayward versus Arizona, the big school. They played back when Lauri Markkanen was at Arizona. But I think this game's ultimately going to come down to in the paint. Obviously, there's good guard play on both sides. There's experience on both sides. But who's better, Oliver? Christian Coloco or these St. Mary's guard centers? I mean, it's Christian Coloco.
It's Christian Coloco.
U of A is winning the Natty this year. I had them winning the Natty, boys, back in 2018. Did not work out for me. They lost to Buffalo when it had DeAndre Ayton.
As a 4-13.
It's not happening this year, boys. U of A is winning the Natty, and they're going to win it by a score, St. Mary's, of 78-72. I mean, these small schools, they always make it to the championship. They normally don't win. Like Butler, they never won. However, they always have amazing runs. So I like U of A to win it. But Oliver, I actually really love your bracket. I mean, I think Tennessee can easily go far. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we can easily have a U of A versus UCLA matchup if UCLA wins. That round of 32 game, UCLA versus St. Mary's, winner of that's going far.
Yeah, man. I think both of our brackets, although they're different in some aspects, I think they're both really good brackets. They got, chances to be the perfect one. Who knows? But yeah, man. This is gonna be
Also,
a great-
stuff's gonna change, man. I mean,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're gonna change stuff. I mean, it's a long 4 days until Thursday starts.
Yeah,
So
I'll be looking at this like 5 times a day and probably make a few changes. But
yeah, and I'll be
as of
looking at this
now-
Wednesday night, getting mad at myself for picking one of these.
yeah, I feel like you're gonna end up changing to UCLA.
Yeah, and have UCLA. I think I probably will myself. I may do it right now. But yeah,
You want to?
no. But yeah, man, love March Madness. At the end of the day, none of us are gonna get it right, and we're gonna have a little I don't know, Bryant upset here, leading scorer in all of college basketball. Bryant's gonna beat Arizona. My bracket's gonna be tough. So.
Facts.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this weekend, some craziness happened. Tom Brady, we all thought retired. Or did we? Because he's back. I mean, the guy just loves football. He somehow I thought he was hacked or something, but then posted on Instagram and Twitter. He unretired after 2 months, not even like a year or anything, not even a season. He's already back.
He's
Tom
addicted,
Brady
bro.
scratched all the stuff we said about him retiring. He's back. And then also, Oliver, talk about some trades we had this weekend.
Ooh, we had some great trades, man. We had Russell Wilson finally leaving the Seahawks, going to the Denver Broncos, making this AFC West stacked. And it got even more stacked a few days later when Khalil Mack made his way from the Windy City to the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, this AFC West is really up for grabs. I can see 3 teams winning it. I think the favorite right now would still be the Chiefs. But man, oh man, this Chargers team and this Broncos team are good.
Agreed, yeah. And we also had Carson Wentz going to the Washington Commanders.
We did.
Where were you when Carson Wentz played for the Commanders? I mean, we're witnessing history, witnessing the Wentz era in Washington. He'll be a great backup for Heineke.
It's facts.
Yeah, and it looks like Jimmy could be on his way to Indiana, or he could be on his way to New Orleans. We still don't know about Jimmy. Yeah.
Yeah, and Deshaun Watson's still on the table. He beat his charges, so we'll see where he goes. The Saints were in intense talks today. Not sure how they're going to afford it, as they're 100 million below cap, but we'll see. And again, the combine just happened. Some dudes who stood out to me were Jordan Davis, defensive tackle, ran a 4.78 at 341 pounds. Absurd. Malik Willis is good, man.
Bailey Zappi.
Bailey Zappi. I think he's actually gonna be pretty good.
He is. No, and EJ Smith and Brown, I was talking about because he picked up trash or something, but
Oh yeah, facts. Yeah, maybe he might get drafted just because he's a good guy. And then
he probably has a good
one. They
one.
ran fast. What?
He probably has like a perfect Wonderlic score too.
Yeah, facts.
Brown.
But yeah, well, I'm so excited to make these mock drafts, man. The draft is in April, so that's a month from now. It's like a month and 2 weeks. So 6 weeks away from the NFL draft. And we will be pumping out mock drafts like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, and if this video goes viral due to the fact that it says March Madness predictions, just remember, we're gonna have more on the way. Tomorrow we have a college basketball insider coming on. I mean, my predictions could be totally changed by then. So just everyone relax, I mean, at the end of the day, no one's gonna get back. I'm gonna root for the upset. So yeah.
Yeah, it's facts. Well, I'll root for my bracket, but if my
Until it's
bracket busted, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's the NFL news. Little MLB free agency, and so the lockout finally ended, which is something new. Finally, we have baseball back. It will start on April 7th. So my half birthday. We will be back. And yeah, a few moves. Carlos Rodon signed with the San Francisco Giants, as well as veteran Carlos Martinez from the Cardinals. Big pitching moves. Now the Giants need to add a right-handed bat. Yusei Kikuchi signed with the Blue Jays, was a all-star last year for the Mariners. I'm trying to think of other things. Josh Donaldson and Isaiah Connor for leftover just traded to the Yankees for Gary Sanchez and Gio Urshela. So kind of 2-player swap there. Not really sure what sense that makes for either team. Any other things happen?
I don't think so, man. I'm just excited for the MLB.
I mean, there's Freddie Freeman talks. The Dodgers are interested. The Dodgers are interested in anyone with the Bulls.
Yeah, man. It's hard to explain all over. Just something about the MLB. It's the best, man. Just talking about it's almost like you just love the random players when they do well. I mean, I'm just excited to text you about Kirk Casale, and obviously not on the team anymore. Michael Tauchman, the greatest player ever if there's no bat in baseball. And just like, that guy's the best fielder of all time. That's a fact. I love Michael Tauchman. I seriously think we should have kept him solely due to the fact that he's the best glove ever, man. But
Ever.
yeah, it's like Ben Simmons, greatest basketball player ever. There's no hoop, great passer, great rebounder.
Great
But
defender.
yeah, man, I love the MLB. I'm excited. I love how the Giants are just kind of dads that are average and somehow just win. That's what makes us so fun to watch.
Yeah, but Farhan finally spent money on a good free agent.
Yeah, he did, and we'll see what happens to Chris Bryant too.
Please resign Chris. But yeah, so that's what we got, man. I mean, great episode. One of my favorites. I love filling out that bracket. And yeah, I'll put the CO Sports Talk group in link in description. It is called CO space sports space talk if you want to search it up for whatever reason. I'll also put it on Instagram. But yeah, join the group, man. Let's try to get like 20 people up in there. So come on. And again, winner comes on. Last year we made a little bit of a mistake and chose the winner before the national championship, and Luke Young was not too happy about it. We had Green Abel on. So we'll make sure not to do that this time. And we'll have the actual winner on. So yeah. This was a fun episode.
All right, see you guys tomorrow, or maybe it'll be tomorrow. Another March Madness episode. It's a 2 for this week.
Yeah.